Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by Jack DePiro, founder of Country Wood Investment and Yacht Flavor. Jack will be sharing more about his founding journey and giving us a glimpse into plans for future growth. Jack, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me. Very excited.
I'm excited to have you too, and it's such a pleasure. Thank you for your time. So, with all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning of their journey. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you were doing before you started up the companies, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So right off the bat, when I first started, I actually started as a content creator. So what I did was I did a lot of video recording, pretty much no method, just pressing record and just posting to whatever. And with that, I started to get a lot of monetization, meaning a lot of brands starting to reach out to me. They liked what I did and they saw I had a huge following. They started sending me a lot of products for me to do reviews and stuff. And I realized something. I was like, you know what? That's a good idea because I can now start to make money online through social media, stuff like that. It started to light up a light bulb in my head. And I started to think, how can I make this into an actual career? So that's what I did before. And I just continued being a content creator into turning it into, okay, I know content creation. Now let me apply it to somebody else. And that's pretty much where I got to today.
I love it. As you say, like really finding out that light bulb moment that you can actually make money from doing this. Like this is something we can actually work hard at, invest, and then helping other people do the same thing. Really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how did you find, would you have a kind of a previous job, or was this kind of the first role and then you just expanded it from there?
So that's a good question. So before this, I was actually in a completely different industry. I had no previous recollection of social media management or any type of marketing or anything like that. In fact, I was actually an automotive technician and I was bouncing all over to different industries. So I didn't really know a clear path, but before that's what I was doing.
Amazing. So let's dive into that a little bit more then. So walk me through, I know we have the two companies going on. So are they like connected in any way, or is there like one that tangent into the other? Walk me through, who would you say at this point is your ideal customer? Who do you really love to work with? And then how do you support them through that journey?
Yeah, so that's a good question. My ideal customer for my Countrywood investments is actually just B2B. So it's basically my business role to other businesses, such as like restaurants, gyms, anything like that. That's looking to be more present online. Everything's online nowadays, so businesses need that. So then I started to understand that I could do B2B, but at the same time, my knowledge and everything, a lot of people want to hear that. And the way that I do things with my methods and how I was able to explode my pages and stuff, people want to learn from somebody who's already done it. So that's when Yacht Flavor came in. So I basically have kind of a triangle, and at the top is my brand, just me, Jack DePiro, and below me on both sides is Yacht Flavor and Countrywood Investments, all selling one product, which is that one product is either coaching and marketing and social media content with strategies. So Yacht Flavor came out to be as more of a content creation strategist, and that side does actually social media management for creators. So my ideal customer for that would be creators looking to be able to pump content every single day, but they don't really have a clear path of what to do, or they run out of ideas. That's where I come in. And pretty much I know what to post, how to post, and when to post. So I'm basically their content coach.
I love that. You're the go-to guy. And I really like the fact that you've taken on both aspects. You've got the B2B and the B2C. So really tackling both sides of the industry, which is a really cool aspect. And then how is it that you work with them? Do you work with them in the same kind of way? It's more like maybe a CMO kind of thing where you really go into the company, stick with them for a long period of time? Or is it more like coaching based where you set them up, teach them how to do it, and then see it along from there? Like what is that process like to work with you?
Yeah, so pretty much that last description you were mentioning, pretty much where I just coach them along, is how I use my Yacht Flavor. So basically, some of these creators I'm working with are far outside of my state, so they could be hours away from me. So I do a lot of online working with them, and we have shared files. Basically, they're uploading raw clips. I'm editing, fixing whatever they got to do, put it back into their file. They use that. I tell them exactly what their weekly layout is, what their monthly layout is. And then with the business side, now if they're local, what I can do is I usually get into the business. I'll be able to take some content, some film, strictly with my phone and some little gadgets here and there, but I'll be able to get a little bit of content for them. just so that I could turn it around and start to do the marketing for them as well.
Really cool. I really like that. And as you say, part of the digital world is that yes, we can now make money on that, but we can actually help a broader amount of people that haven't got to be within your local area. You can really like
Yeah.
tap into a whole new level of that. So with that being said, like how do you go about acquiring your customers? Like what channels, what methods are you really finding most effective in finding those right kind of businesses or people to work with?
Yeah, so good question. I would say one of my biggest ways of acquiring some clients nowadays is actually creating content yourself, right? So people want to buy the value. They don't want to just feel like they're being sold. So I used to cold call and I used to do cold emails and lead gen, all the standard stuff businesses usually do, right? And till this day, I still do that. But I started to realize that a lot of the coaches and a lot of the content strategists online, like on Instagram that you see with the hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff like that, they might not be always doing cold calls and cold outreach. In fact, if you continue doing content creation and increase your volume of information that you can pump out, people get attracted to that. So I started to realize that when people started reaching out to me via DM or messaging, and they would reach out, hey, I saw this video. A lot of people like to start off with that. Hey, I saw this video, or you were talking about this on your live stream. I really like that, and I need that for my company. So it's not like I'm really looking for my leads or funneling them. It's almost like they're coming to me, but in the process of me pumping a lot of content and showing my knowledge in this aspect. So I went from a traditional way of getting leads to more of I guess a more modern but more efficient way of getting it.
Yeah, it's very much building that like no trust factor with strangers. As you say,
Right.
being very upfront with the knowledge and the visibility you have and just using it from there, giving them information on the front end and the right people find you as well. But are you still doing a little bit of cold outreach as well, just to add to consistency, or do you run any form of ads on the post that you're like the content that you're making as well?
Yes. So what I do is I still do the cold outreach here and
Cool.
there. I think that's truly the backbone of most businesses is
Yeah.
cold outreach, just getting your name out there, at least doing a few pitches in your first hour of operation, then just seeing, okay, this didn't work, then funneling it through like a whole data setup that I have. Okay, they didn't answer me one day, I'll get back to them 2 days later. So I think that's still a core value that a lot of businesses use today.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to go away because that still has a lot of turnaround to it. But stepping into this industry and learning this industry, it really opened my eyes of, okay, I don't need to spend 5 to 10 hours of just cold calling 1,000 leads or getting hung up 1,000 times, right? If I just turn that effort into full content creation per day, it almost is like the leads start to fall in themselves. But to answer your question, yes, I still do a little bit cold call.
Yeah. And the only thing is because obviously without that, it's really hard to gauge the consistency. If you're not nurturing the leads, running them through the pipeline, or even I say running ads just to boost that and bring more attraction to yourself, it's just a longer process to do it, I would say, with the content creation. People
Yeah.
haven't got time. It's nice to do a little bit of everything. And then
Right.
like also, Jack, are you still a solopreneur at the moment as well? Or do you have a team that are maybe helping you out with like back end stuff, the sales process, marketing, all that
Yeah,
good
so I'm
stuff?
actually still solo myself. I'm
Oh,
looking,
nice.
I know one of my goals down the line is to start to build a team, but for
Yeah.
right now, I'm a one man army.
And how are you coping wearing those like hats, putting out fires all over the place? Is it something that you're like naturally feel comfortable doing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you can't get comfortable without learning it. So if you learn it and you get good at it, you mess up, good. At least you know what you're looking for the next person. So if I were to
Oh,
hire
true.
somebody in this position, in the next position, okay, I went through it. I'm looking for this guy or like this person that knows what they're doing.
So it's a sign of a good leader is just like just knowing every nuance of each position, so you can just pass it along and know that it's trusted with somebody that's there working for you. And
Exactly.
then,
Yep.
what does the future have in store for you then, Jack? What do the next 6 to 12 months look like for you as you think of scaling and growing the business?
I would say, good question, first off. I would say getting the job done right, keeping my clients consistently happy with me for the next 6 to 12 months is exactly what I'm aiming for. Although I'm still doing outreach, although I'm still trying to get content in and content out for whoever my client is, I think in the next 6 to 12 months, I'd like to see just full success with no failure. Usually, you won't really see much failure in this industry. Basically, it's just do this, do that. It's very simple.
Yeah.
We try a lot of A/B methods, and I'm sure you already like this, but pretty much in 6 to 12 months, I want to make sure that all the clients that I'm taking care of right now are on an even keel and making sure that they stay positive. Yep.
Yeah. So really working on the fulfillment side, as you say, making sure like what the service you're delivering is really hitting home to the customers, like you're up there as a
Exactly.
specialist in the field. And
Precisely.
do you like have a certain number of clients you'd really like to work with in the next year, or like at least like a target that you're working towards at the moment?
Yeah. So I would like to say right now, in this current time, in the next 6 months or so, I'm at a pretty good standing of amount of clients that I have. Now, I'm not saying that I'm closing the doors. Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is where I'm at right now is a really good standing point of where I'm just starting off and just
Nice.
building the business. This is great where I'm at. Obviously, once I start to get more experience and possibly be able to get more team members onto my team, obviously that number will start to increase. I can't really put a hard number on it, maybe 10 clients, maybe 15. My goal would be 20 plus clients.
Yeah.
And then we'll see from there. But I'm very excited where I am right now. And I'm sitting pretty much securely around 5 to 10 clients and they pop in and out. So
Awesome. No, but it's a sign of good things to come, because if you've got that good trust already, like early on, it just means that you'll just continue to grow, keeping that like same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same resilience you have at the moment, just that integrity to keep doing a good job. And where are you finding the biggest challenge for yourself, Jack, in like taking that next steps and really growing the business?
that's a good question. Challenges for myself. Honestly, I can't really find many challenges that are really holding me up as of right now. I think if I look at everything, I have a kind of brain that just looks at everything as a learning. So I don't really see it as a challenge. Nothing's really bottlenecking me or slowing me down as of right now. It's just getting it done at this point.
Yeah.
Making the content for the creators, running a campaign for the next business that already came in. It's just, I don't really see it as a challenge at this point. Time is a challenge for everyone, and there's only a limited amount of time in a day. So if I could have unlimited time, I wish I could.
I like that. And it is like a position that a lot of founders find themselves in, where time is of essence, because it is, as you say, you've only got 24 hours in the day, and there's just so many jobs that you need to be getting on with, and just finding the time to do that is can be a challenge. Now, Jack, what would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever received about scaling a business?
That's a good question. Best piece of advice for scaling a business. I would say do it right. Do it right once because you don't have to do it twice again. And what I mean by that, and I'll explain. I would say somebody told me when I was getting up onto this path that speed and accuracy go hand in hand. And I had a coach one time actually tell me speed was everything, right? So if you get it done quickly and you get it done right, then scaling your business is going to be easy because everybody wants to work with the person that could get the job done like this versus
Yeah.
the person that's going to take a month. And yeah, the quality might be good, but they were expecting it 3 weeks ago. But I would say best advice is attack everything with speed and accuracy, adjust to the failures, and then reapproach.
I love that. Very
Yeah.
solid advice for anyone listening. Please take notes. And Jack, as one final question to you, if you could go back in time to a younger self, and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then, what would you say to yourself?
That's a great question. I would tell myself, listen, you need to be a good student before you be a good teacher. You can't learn anything when you're running your mouth. You need to stay quiet and you need to listen. You need to listen to everything that you've gotten, received, meaning feedback, and you need to listen to yourself. Or when you mess up, or if you are in a position where you're not sure, you need to listen to yourself and your own mental thoughts and think, okay, is this the best possible outcome that I could be in right now? Or is there a better choice? And I wish I could tell myself that at every age back before this age right now. And I could tell myself, listen, you need to be a good student before you could be a good teacher. That would be the best thing I would tell myself.
I love that. I really do. And Jack, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and
Thank you
insight with
very
us.
much. It's been amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate your time. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
If you want to reach out to me and connect with me, you can check me out at Yada Flavor on Instagram and TikTok, or you can check me out at Jack DePiro on Instagram, TikTok, and on my website as well.
Amazing. Nice and simple. Jack DePiro all over the place. Thank you again. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Jack and all the amazing work that he's doing. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you all on the next one.